few weeks to go before India goes to polls, opposition parties have been staging protests nationwide against the use of electronic voting machines. This is not the first time that EVMs have been at the center of controversy. Similar accusations were made during the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, which led to the calls for electoral reforms. So, are EVMs a solid tool for transparency in the world's largest democracy, or tampering it can rig election results? We spoke to former Indian Chief Election Commissioner S.Y. Quraishi, former IAS officer M.G. Devasahayam, who has extensive experience in conducting and supervising elections, and founder of the Association for Democratic Reforms, Jagdeep Chokkar.
I have been consistently saying that they cannot be hacked and they cannot be manipulated because a lot of thought and effort has gone into its design, its manufacture, its administrative controls. Therefore, it has been around for 3, 4 decades. For the last 20 years, we have been holding all elections. About 350 crore people have cast voted EVM.
EVMs, when they were originally introduced, were said to be stand-alone machines, which were not connected to anything else. And it was said that since they are standalone, they are not connected with anything else. Therefore, they cannot be tampered with.
But Choker says with EVMs now connected to a VVPAT, the situation has changed.
It is now not an EVM alone, it is a EVS, an electronic voting system. And that voting system appears to be, to my mind, completely amenable to manipulation.
Over the years, there have been many demonstrations of stakeholders alleging vote for one party went to another. There have also been claims of rigging. While experts say there is enough checks and balances and mass rigging is improbable, some do say there can be selective manipulation.
Occasionally, we have seen it on TV that some vote was going to another party. But remember, there are 20 lakh machines in operation. And if it happens in 1, 2, 3, 5, so to defame the entire system is irresponsible, it's wrong.
You don't have to rig the all 543 constituencies in the country. So manipulating the election is not a simple, it is not like the good old days, or rather I should say bad old days, where there used to be ballot boxes and people would stuff ballot boxes, all of them into one candidate. Those times are not there. Now you can do strategic and selective manipulation, which affects the majority in the legislature.
In the last few years, the Commission has ordered repolling in certain areas over the allegations of EVM tampering. What's the protocol to minimize these risks?
On the polling day, there is a mock poll in the morning at 7:30. All parties certify in writing that they found the machine functioning fine. So if the machine was all right at 7:30 in the morning, how can it go wrong at 8:30 in the morning?
There are standard operating procedure, and it is incumbent on the district electoral officer, who is the district magistrate, who ensures that this transportation takes place as per the laid down manual. And in the polling booth, after the completion of the polling officer is supposed to go through certain formalities, then seal these EVMs and VVPATs.
Election season has also been marred by the instances of violence over the isolated cases of EVMs being found in the wrong hands or by spreading rumors. Like last year during Karnataka elections, when a mob toppled an officer's car under the false impression a BJP MLA was involved in taking the machine before voting closed to rig the result. We found out that no political leader was in the car and the officer was carrying reserve EVMs.
So in the transportation, there appears to be not much of a scope to do 420. But still, people find EVMs lying in somebody's house, lying in somebody's car, carried by MLA's car. So these are all odd complaints that come, but by and large, the system is okay.
In January, the ECI responded to India Bloc's questions regarding EVMs, saying the machines withstand all tests. Critics of the current system aren't opposed to the idea of using EVMs, but they demand more transparency.
The basic principles of democracy, end to end verifiability, which is totally absent. The democratic elections must comply with the basic democracy principles of, say, the voter should know that her vote was cast as intended, recorded as cast, and counted as recorded.
So, what's the way forward?
We have seen in the Chandigarh mayor election that ballot papers can also be manipulated by the returning officer himself. So ballot paper is not a panacea which has no problem. So we need an EVM and we need a simple printer. No fancy printer like VVPAT. A simple printer which prints out the slip, which shows what the voter has voted. And this slip should be available to the voter.
Currently, the machine prints a slip for a voter to verify their ballot before dropping it in a sealed box.
They all want to improve the printing, that's all. Make it slightly larger, make it in a superior paper, whereas it stays for 5 years because you need to have a record.
Giving voters insight into what's happening and accurate details can help ensure the public's confidence does not erode. So, remember to get your information from the right resources and verify before you share.